Colorado Springs. If you did not receive the chat or just hopped on, all you need today is a chair, a desk, a wall, something to just kind of set your hands on it at one point during class. As you get up and out of your chairs, a couple of reminders. We have Trivia Mania starting February 10th, which is next week already. All you have to do is join CubeFit classes. At the end of each CubeFit class, we'll have a trivia question and you get points for answering. Also in February, we're promoting our HIIT class because it's Heart Health Month. So on Monday mornings, we have our HIIT class. Jenny teaches it. And by just joining the class and participating, you are entered to win a gift card. And then tomorrow we have our webinar on nutrition swaps. This will be led by Shannon, and it will take some of the things you guys have put on Slack channel as questions of what can I swap for this? What can I swap for that? So you don't want to miss it. That's going to be a really informative one. All right, we are going to get moving. We're starting today with some ankle mobility. So I want you to just shift your weight to your left leg. Your right leg is going to come up, and I want you to circle your ankle around. Now, when I say ankle, I really want you to focus on moving this part of your leg, not just your toes. So sometimes we can leave those circles with our toes, and we're not getting as much activation and movement in the actual ankle joint. Go ahead and reverse that circle. At any point during a balance challenge or when we're balancing, you can just lean on something if balance is just not happening today, or place your arms out to the side. Go ahead and switch legs. So we'll shift our weight to our right leg. Left foot comes up and we'll circle. Think about using your shin and calf muscles to do this. When we think about balance, we don't often think about our ankles, but when you balance on one leg, you'll often feel a little wobbly. And that's all those little muscles in your ankles. Go ahead and reverse, firing to keep you upright. So we want to make sure we mobilize, we activate before we try to balance. Go ahead and rest. Shake out those legs. This is where our chair or wall is going to come in handy. So I want you to step your left leg back into a kind of a wide stance lunge here. You're staggered in your stance. I want you to lean forward into that front leg and then reach your back heel towards the ground. So we're feeling a stretch in our calf muscle right now. You can pull that, if you're using a chair, I should say. You can pull it closer to you. You can move closer to the surface you're using. If you want, you can just release. Maybe that gives you a better stretch. The chair is going to be mainly for the next stretch we do in this position. If you're not feeling much of a stretch, you can walk that front foot forward. Think about creating a bigger distance between the hip and the heel. You want your heel to the floor. We always want to make sure our feet are parallel, especially in a stretch like this. If we're turned out to the side, we're not going to be stretching that calf. You might feel it on the side of your leg, but we want to feel it right in the center of that calf. Just a breath or two more here. Then go ahead and step that left foot in just slightly. So staggered stance still. I still want you leaning into that front leg so it's slightly bent. Your heel is on the ground. You're going to hold on to that surface. We're just going to bend and straighten that back leg. So notice my front leg stays right where it is. I just moved the back leg. And this should move the stretch down into your Achilles tendon. So into that heel, the back of the ankle. Your range of motion could look a lot different. I've practiced this one for a very long time after an ankle injury. So I have okay mobility here, but when I first started, I could barely bend my knee. So if that's where you're at, it's very common that Achilles is usually really tight. So don't feel discouraged with that. Just keep doing them every day. Do two more. And then we'll switch legs. So left foot comes forward, Right leg goes back, staggered stance, feet are parallel facing forward. We're starting with that calf stretch. So heel to the ground, lunge into that front leg. Feel a stretch in the calf muscle. You want to feel it in the belly of the calf muscle. Just breathe here. If you feel like you can get a little deeper as you breathe and it kind of releases, please do. Two more breaths in this calf stretch. And then you'll step that right foot forward just slightly so it's a little more narrow stance. That front leg is still bent. Right heel is anchored, and then you'll bend and straighten that back leg. This leg can feel a lot different than the other. When you're holding onto a surface, whether it's a wall, a desk, or a chair, try to keep your chest upright. So we don't want to lean fully into the chair because that'll take away the stretch. If you notice, you can get a little deeper with each breath. And two more. One. Good. Step that foot forward. So I want your feet parallel and right underneath those hips. You can use your surface again for this one or try to do it without. We're going to do some kickbacks. So I want you to shift your weight into your right leg. Left leg is going to kick back and come down. And I want you to try to keep that leg nice and straight and see where you feel it. If you feel it more in your hamstring, then I want you to bend the leg and try to feel it more in your glute. The chair or surface can be helpful if you find yourself leaning forward a lot in that movement, or if we're arching our back a lot. This is going to be a smaller movement than we want to make it. We're really just trying to activate that glute and nothing else. We're not trying to get the biggest range. Two, one, and switch sides. Right leg kicks back. If you need to reset as you come down, you can always tap and then try it again. Chest is up. Maybe you notice one side is easier to grab that glute than the other. That's just something to make note of. Two more. And release. All right, go ahead and push that chair out of the way. We're going to start our balance challenge or end with our balance challenge. We're doing a single leg RDL, but we're going to start slow. So I want you to place your left foot in front. Your right leg is going to be staggered like a little kickstand, and we're going to hinge at our hips and come up. So we're keeping a flat back. You should feel a stretch in your hamstrings, and then you come up. Now, if you're ready, you're going to take that back foot off the ground. Do that same motion. Let the back leg go back and come up. Hinge, hips go back. Extend that leg as much as you can and come up. The other option here is to keep that leg bent and don't worry about extending it back. If your balance is it's enough to just try to hinge forward. Your arms can be wherever they're most helpful, so it might be up to the side or on the hips. We have two more on this side. Take it at the pace of your own breath. Remember, all those little wobbles are just your ankles trying to help you balance. Come up, and we'll switch sides. So shake it out, shift your weight to your right foot, and we'll do that same thing. So start with the kickstand, hinge, and come up. Couple here, and then if you're ready, that left leg will go back. And you'll come up. If you're finding yourself really wobbly, think about pushing your hips back towards the wall behind you. Really finding power in the hips, forcefully pushing them back. And coming up as I lose my balance. Do more on this side. Your own pace, take your time. Last one. Come up. Go ahead and shake those legs out when you finish your last one. Thank you so much for joining me. If you have any questions, please let me know. If you're not getting the equipment text prior to class, also let me know so that I can add you back to the list.